Number 10, Tom Cruise. Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise may seem like they have a lot in common at first glance, but they couldn't be more at odds with each other. Yet, allegedly, they have been feuding for 25 years, and it all started in 1994's Interview with a Vampire. The hit horror movie where both actors had starring roles really ignited their resentment for one another, and even though the film was nominated for an Oscar and a Golden Globe upon its release, Brad said that he was miserable during the entire filming, and that Tom being there certainly didn't help. And when asked about his co-star in an interview, Brad did not bother to hold back his feelings at all. Quote, "He bugged me. There came a point during filming when I started really resenting him. He's North Pole, I'm South. He's always coming at you with a handshake, whereas I may bump into you. There was this underlying competition that got in the way of any real conversation." Fast forward to 2009, when both actors were starring in World War II dramas, Brad in the very successful Inglourious and Tom Cruise in Valkyrie, which was a critical flop. So much so that Brad even called Valkyrie a ridiculous movie, which goes to show you that the rivalry was still there. Number 9, Marion Cotillard. In 2016, Brad Pitt and Marion Cotillard were co-stars in a film called Allied, which is a second World War romantic drama where Brad played Max, a handsome intelligence agent who has an affair with a French resistance fighter called Marianne. As good as the film might have been, it was certainly overshadowed by the rumors that plagued the set, in particular the closeness between Brad and his leading lady. In fact, a source close to Brad and Angelina at the time claimed that the actress was so jealous of Marion that she refused to meet with the French star after meeting her on the set of the film, telling the Daily Mail, quote, "Angelina completely ignored Marion on the set, and when Marion tried to talk to her, she just looked away. Marion was devastated. Here she is thinking she's going to meet this great UN ambassador, and instead Angelina refuses to speak to the woman because of her own jealousy." In fact, Angelina reportedly hired a private investigator to watch the two actors on set and scout out a possible affair. And although none of this was Marion's fault, it's unlikely that Brad, who's now dating again, would work with the French actress again, considering how much scandal it brought to his own marriage with Angelina. Number 8, Harrison Ford. Ford and Pitt both starred in 1997's The Devil's Own, which had reportedly faced endless problems during production. One of the biggest being that allegedly the two leads didn't get along. Conflict off the screen erupted when Pitt told Newsweek magazine that the film was, quote, "the most irresponsible bit of filmmaking, if you can call it that I've ever seen. I couldn't believe it." Reports surfaced that the two co-stars disagreed on which character should be at the center of the film, but the alleged feud between Ford and Pitt may have just been an argument over the script, as Larry Gordon, the producer of Devil's Own, came out saying, "I never saw two men not getting along. The discussions were over the script, and every movie is a work in progress." And even Indiana Jones star himself didn't seem too upset by the comments, and even suggested that Brad simply went on a rant about the film and didn't realize that he was going to be quoted throwing it under the bus. But Ford made it clear that the only thing he didn't appreciate was the fact that people were asking more questions about the working relationship between the two actors rather than the film itself. Number 7, Shia LaBeouf. Brad Pitt and Shia LaBeouf starred in the 2014 war film Fury. While the movie received glowing reviews from both critics and fans, reportedly the two actors didn't get along when filming the gritty action film. Shia LaBeouf has a reputation in Hollywood as being extremely difficult to work with, and that was true with Fury as well. Reportedly, Shia was so committed to doing justice to the character of Boyd Swan that he had his front tooth removed and went for days without bathing or showering. Additionally, reports claim that Shia didn't believe that the makeup used for his facial scarring was realistic enough, so he actually cut his own face to make his war wounds look more realistic, and then during filming he would occasionally open the wounds to keep them looking more fresh and authentic. It's clear that he was determined to make an impression, but this allegedly rubbed Brad Pitt the wrong way, and according to Ranker, Pitt was disappointed by Shia's energy on set of their film and believed that the two of them have very different styles of working and it just wasn't mixing well on a personal level, as he allegedly felt uncomfortable seeing how much torture Shia would put himself through just to get results. Number 6, Jennifer Aniston. The story that dominated the tabloids in the 2000s was just as scandalous as it was made out to be. Jen and Brad got married in 2000 in a lavish Malibu wedding, and things were perfect for the Hollywood it couple until they suddenly announced their divorce in 2005. What happened exactly? Well, long story short is that Brad met Angelina for the first time on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Brad famously embarked on a jet-setting romance with her despite the fact that he was still married to Jennifer. Although all parties denied that there was infidelity involved, Angelina couldn't help but gush to the papers about her new romance, and Jennifer told Vogue, week in 2008 that she had in fact read some of those interviews, and according to her, quote, "There was stuff printed in there that was definitely from a time when I was unaware that it was happening, and I felt those details were a little inappropriate to discuss. That stuff about how she couldn't wait to get to work every day. Not cool." Although they might be on good terms now, there's certainly a reason that Brad avoided having Jennifer in any of his films, and it probably has a lot to do with their past. Number 5, Mark Canton. Harrison Ford wasn't the only person that Brad Pitt bumped heads with during the filming of 1997's The Devil's Own. In fact, not long after the filming wrapped, news also surfaced that Pitt had wanted out of the film that he felt was doomed. But it was Mark Canton, the head of Columbia Pictures, that threatened him with a $63 million lawsuit if he went through with the walkout. So of course Pitt was kind of trapped, but he let his frustration out in that controversial interview in Newsweek magazine ahead of the film's release. Apart from calling the movie the most irresponsible bit of filmmaking, he said, quote, "I don't know why anyone would want to continue making that movie. We had nothing. The movie was the complete victim of this drowning studio head who said, 'I don't care, we're making it. I don't care what you have, shoot something.'" If that wasn't enough, Pitt even said that they had no script, and it was a lot of pressure on himself and Harrison Ford just to make it all up as they went along. So clearly he resents Canton for putting him in that kind of situation in the first place. Number 4, Odile Soudant. The famous French designer who was once a friend or acquaintance of Brad Pitt's ended up suing the couple in 2017 over the lighting in their Chateau Miraval home. The Guardian reported that Soudant claimed that the former couple simply stopped paying for her work that she did on 4 buildings of their 40-room mansion in France, while the designer insisted that she had no written contract specifically with Pitt or Jolie. She claims that he gave her the green light to do whatever she wanted in order to make their home beautiful. She took him literally at his word and hired architects, designers, lighting and acoustic specialists, and even an optical engineer to calculate the angle of the sun's rays on the chateau. The trouble started growing when Soudant noticed that Pitt and Jolie stopped paying for her estimated $29 million project after her billings reached approximately $6 million, and Pitt emailed her saying, "I don't know how things happen in France, but in the United States, friends don't attack friends. I've been nothing but a fan of your work. Do not attack. Let's finish the project and be proud of it." But by August of 2017, the former couple were ordered to pay her roughly $674,000, including about $71,000 for damaging her reputation. Number 3, Michael Madsen. In 1991, Pitt and Michael Madsen both appeared in the 90s feminist classic Thelma and Louise, and right away the two seemed to butt heads in a major way, and Madsen made no secret of how much he dislikes Pitt, but the beef between the actors goes way deeper than just trouble on the set of the film. In fact, they have both worked with along. So clearly he resents Canton for putting him in that kind of situation in the first place. Number 2, Mark Forster. The fact that World War Z managed to do okay at the box office is literally a miracle when you consider how massive the feud was between its star Brad Pitt and its director Mark Forster, making it one of the most infamously troubled shoots of any blockbuster from the last decade. Pitt starred as a UN worker, Jerry Lane, who searches the globe for information that can stop the zombie outbreak that is bringing down nations. But on the set was total chaos. Vulture reported that Pitt eventually stopped speaking altogether to Forster, and that the director's notes for him were being given through a rotation of 3 different production members. That's right, they hated each other so much that they couldn't even speak to each other face to face. But the situation was further complicated by Pitt's status as a producer, giving him authority to challenge Forster's creative calls and causing the post-production process to be dragged out by their conflicting visions. And when the studio chiefs ordered reshoots of the film, the apparent breakdown in the duo's relationship just made that progress extremely problematic. And coming in at number 1, Angelina Jolie. They were once Hollywood's glittering power couple, but for the last 5.5 years, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have been very publicly airing out their dirty laundry in one of the messiest and most expensive divorce battles of all time. It was a shock to the world when the Tomb Raider actress Angelina Jolie filed for divorce from Pitt in September of 2016, just 2 years after they wed and 12 years into their partnership. Citing irreconcilable differences, Angelina requested sole physical custody of their 6 children, and the following month, she made a threat to take the children abroad despite a renegotiated custody agreement. The actress even took a swipe at him in Harper's Bazaar, saying, "I would love to live abroad and will do so as soon as my children are 18. But right now, I'm having having to base where their father chooses to live. In fact, it was recently reported that Brad is suing Angelina for allegedly secretly selling the couple's $116 million winery just to spite him. Although the once golden couple worked together on the iconic spy movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's unlikely these two will ever share the big screen ever again.
Number 10, Lady Gaga. The Maroon 5 frontman seems to have a lot of feuds with female artists, especially ones that you wouldn't expect, like Lady Gaga. Adam criticized her music in 2011 when he tweeted, "Lady Gaga took Vogue and Express Yourself and put them in a blender. The result? Born This Way." Then only 2 years later, he slammed her creative choices when she dropped her Applause music video from Art Pop, which referenced several major works of art throughout history. Adam wrote, "Ugh, recycling old art for a younger generation doesn't make you an artist, it makes you an art teacher. I unabashedly love writing and performing pop music for both myself and everyone around me. That's it. It doesn't need any extra sauce." Gaga hilariously responded, tweeting, "Uh-oh guys, the art police is here." Adam then wrote, "By the way, I'm not an artist, I sing in a band and I make music with my friends. Methinks thou dost protest too much. Yikes. While we're at it, we should call the grammar police." Loving this video so far, please hit that like button, it would really help us out. Number 9, Emily Ratajkowski. The model and actress straight up called Adam Levine a prick while sharing her thoughts about the cheating scandal, just hours after he publicly denied the affair. Emily said, "I don't understand why we continue to blame women for men's mistakes, especially when you're talking about 20-something-year-old women dealing with men in positions of power who are twice their age. The power dynamic is so skewed, it's ridiculous. Like, it's manipulative, I can't imagine." In a second post, the 31-year-old followed it up with, "I think a huge problem in our culture right now is we say, oh, men are monsters, they're terrible, they're horrible. Then we don't hold them accountable. We blame other women and ask women to adjust their behavior, instead of just saying that men need to change their behavior. It's sexism, it's classic misogyny." The actress actually filed for divorce earlier this month from her film producer husband, Sebastian after 4 years of marriage, following reports that he was unfaithful as well. So Emily is clearly talking from experience here. Number 8, Lindsay Lohan. Chaos erupted in Hollywood when Lindsay Lohan's infamous sex list was leaked to In Touch Weekly. Adam Levine then went on Howard Stern and denied sleeping with the actress, even though his name appears on the list. The singer was following in the footsteps of Terry Richardson and James Franco, who also appeared on that same list and publicly denied sleeping with her too. Howard asked Adam, "So you don't know Lindsay Lohan?" To which he replied very clearly, "I did not have sexual intercourse with Lindsay Lohan." Then he decided to throw her under the bus completely when Howard asked, "Who did sleep with her?" To which Adam said, "A lot of people probably did, I don't know." That last part was both unnecessary and hurtful, but what it comes down to though is that no one except Lindsay and the men on the list will ever know the truth. And while she admitted that the list was real by saying it was a step of her AA program, she didn't explicitly say it was a sex list, so we'll never really know for sure. Number 7, Christina Aguilera. In 2012, Adam started a beef with his fellow coach on The Voice and used a contestant called Tony Luca to antagonize her. The feud culminated with Tony's performance of 99 Problems, which Adam insisted on because he knew it would make Christina uncomfortable. He was right, and she got so offended by the song choice that she told him, "Your beautiful wife and your daughter and family are here tonight, and I just thought the lyrical connotation was a little derogatory towards women." Weeks later, a source told Radar Online that Adam went right up to Christina and called her the C word, to which she responded by demanding that he should be fired. Quote, "She's sick of being treated this way. Christina is so sick of Adam being looked at as the golden boy of the show. If America knew how disgusting he was, they would be appalled." Another insider said that the feud was constant and that the singer preyed on her in subtle and often passive-aggressive ways to deliberately try and set her off. Number 6, David Draiman. The Maroon 5 singer recently got himself into hot water after getting embroiled in a sexting scandal involving flirtatious messages he allegedly sent to several women. But if that wasn't bad enough, just a few days ago it was revealed that he believes that hot women women do not listen to metal. This questionable opinion was uncovered when a screenshot of the singer's messages were leaked online. Adam was talking to a woman called Alison Rosef, who said that she listens to metal. In response to that, he wrote, "Said no hot chick ever other than you." The comment angered a large group of metal fans, especially David Draiman, who is the lead singer of the band Disturbed. David took to his Twitter to defend his subculture and wrote, "I don't know Adam Levine, I think my wife is pretty damn hot, and so do a lot of other people, and she likes metal. You need to improve your DM game, bud." So not only were his comments very ignorant and stupid, but they were also just flat out wrong. Number 5. Sarah Forster. The actress shared a video on TikTok where she slammed both Adam and Sumner for their involvement in the year-long affair. She said, "He's obviously a total pig and gross, but this woman who chose to make a viral TikTok video, not even apologizing, but putting it out there for the world to see, for a pregnant woman to see, when she could have just messaged her privately, claiming it's not her fault or something." She went on to say that we don't feel sorry for you. You knew this man was married and you participated. You could have easily ignored the messages. You knew he was married. We do not feel sorry for you. As women, we need to do better. The married man is being a pig and reaching out to you. You hopefully have been raised well enough to be like, "No, sorry, you're married, I can't engage." This chick is giving women a very bad name. But not a lot of people were happy with her commentary because they felt that she focused too much on Sumner instead of pointing out Adam's wrongs. Number 4. Corey Taylor. When Adam was asked by Variety if he considered Maroon 5 to be a pop, rock, or urban band, he replied, "Something unique to this band is that we have always looked to hip-hop, R&B, all rhythmic forms of music, from back when we were writing our first album to now. Rock music is nowhere really. I don't know where it is. If it's around, no one's invited me to the party. All of the innovation and the incredible things happening in music are in hip-hop. It's better than everything else." But when Slipknot's Corey Taylor caught wind of his comments, the rocker went off on him and tweeted, "Just because you claim to have moves like Jagger doesn't mean you come anywhere close to rocking like Jagger. Tell that schmuck to go back to the effing voice." Adam also divided fans by saying that there are no rock bands anymore and calling them a dying breed, which clearly angered quite a few people. Number 3. Sebastian Bach. The rock legend has been feuding with the Maroon 5 frontman ever since he gave that interview with Variety magazine, where he said, "Rock music is nowhere really. I don't know where it is. If it's around, no one's invited me to the party." Sebastian responded on Twitter saying, "Rock music is nowhere, but when you want your team to win The Voice, you chose the song I Remember You. You're welcome." He also slammed Adam's Super Bowl halftime show performance in 2019, tweeting, "Whatever he was trying to do on stage tonight is way more dead than rock will ever be." The Skid Row singer was not the only one to jump on the hate train. Dee Snider from Twisted Sister wrote, "Hey Adam Levine, I hear you're having a lot of trouble getting hip-hop artists to join you for the Super Bowl. You should reach out to your friends in the rock community." Oh wait, never mind. So clearly no one is going to forget those controversial comments that he made about rock. Number 2. Chrishell Stause. The outspoken actress was less than impressed with the whole Adam Levine scandal. Selling Sunset star Chrishell brilliantly called out the singer for his so-called apology for cheating on his wife Bahati. She tweeted, "When apologizing for cheating publicly, I hate the whole 'we will get through it together' part from a man. Don't speak to her, you've done enough." Most of the Twitter users in her replies agreed and cheered her on for speaking out. However, writer Jimmy Traynor tried to argue that while Adam was guilty of crossing a line, he technically didn't cheat. In response, Rochelle left a series of facepalm and laughing emojis. Unfortunately, the 41-year-old is no stranger to having relationship drama play out in the public eye. In 2019, she was blindsided by then-husband Justin Hartley filing for divorce as he quickly got remarried to Sophia Pernaz. Chrishell implied that this meant that he had been cheating on her throughout their relationship, and that she only found out after the divorce. And coming in at number 1, Blake Shelton. Adam just couldn't resist the urge to take a jab at his former voice coaching rival Blake Shelton on his Instagram story. The Maroon 5 singer decided to address all sorts of burning questions from fans, including some about his time on The Voice. But soon it became clear that Adam did not exactly have fond memories working with Blake. When one fan asked whether or not he missed him, Adam responded by saying, "Blake who?" And when another fan asked him to name his favorite of Blake's albums, he said, "Who is this Blake you speak of?" The latest example of this conflict came during a Maroon 5 concert last year, as one fan captured the shocking moment that Adam leaned over, directly looked into the camera and said, "Hey Blake, F you, we sold more tickets," and then started to scream as the fans cheered. So it seems like he still has a bit of resentment and rivalry towards his former co-host. So I couldn't imagine that Blake would be jumping at the opportunity to work with him again. Number 10, Florence Pugh. As we know, the Hollywood it girl appears in Olivia Wilde's new film Don't Worry Darling alongside Harry Styles. However, there was reportedly much tension on the set between the two women. Florence reportedly wasn't too happy seeing her director hooking up with Harry, considering the fact that at the time she was still with Jason Sudeikis, whom she is very good friends with. So it makes sense that she wouldn't be too happy seeing the two of them together when Jason was allegedly oblivious to the affair on set and even brought their two young children to visit their mother. But what was Harry's role in all of this? Well, not a whole lot, but it's pretty apparent that Florence disapproves of his new romance with Olivia Wilde. During the premiere of Don't Worry Darling at the Venice Film Festival, fans noticed that the actress avoided both Harry and Olivia like the plague. She posed for group shots with the entire cast, but did not get any photos alone with Harry, even though they were both central characters and love interests in the film. Florence also was said to have avoided eye contact with both of them throughout the premiere and seemed to leave the event as soon as possible. So with everything that went down, it's highly unlikely they'll be working together again in the future. If you're loving this video so far, please hit that like button, it would really help us out. Number 9, Shia LaBeouf. The actor was initially cast as Jack in Don't Worry Darling, but in September of 2020, it was announced that he would be replaced by Harry Styles. Olivia then made some very explosive comments alleging that she fired Shia due to a no a-hole policy that she has while directing. She told Variety, "Shia's process was not conducive to the ethos that I demand in my productions. He has a process that, in some ways, seems to require a combative energy, and I don't personally believe that is conducive to the best performances. Ultimately, my responsibility is to the production and to the cast to protect them." But Shia was not very happy with this side of the story and decided to publicly expose Olivia. He emailed both the director and Variety to deny that he was fired, instead saying, "You and I both know the reasons for my exit. I quit your film because your actors and I couldn't find time to rehearse." And he proceeded to leak a video of Olivia begging him to stay in the film. Shia seemed to want to set the record straight, but some fans accused him of being bitter and resentful over the fact that Harry ended up replacing him in the film. It sounds like a bit of a reach, but that could be a possibility. Number 8, Zayn Malik. In a moment of honesty, the 29-year-old opened up to US Weekly and revealed the reality of his relationship with Harry, admitting that the two of them barely spoke while they were in One Direction, let alone since. Zayn said, "To be honest, I never really spoke to Harry even when I was in the band, so I didn't really expect that much of a relationship with him, and I haven't had one." Sometime later, possibly in a response to Zayn's comments, Harry appeared on SNL and dragged Zayn during his opening monologue. He said, "I was in a band called One Direction. How crazy would it be if they were here tonight? I love those guys. They're my brothers. Niall, Liam, Louis, and Ringo." If you didn't catch that, he was implying that Zayn was a less important member of the group, as many Beatles fans see Ringo Starr as the least talented and least interesting person in the band. So what was his reaction? Well, a source close to the star told Hollywood Life that Zayn doesn't care what his former band member does or says, and that he'd rather not see his name in a headline with Harry ever again. But the whole thing was hardly a surprise to fans, given that the two of them weren't exactly best friends. They were more like co-workers. Number 7, Mark Wahlberg. This one was one of the most unlikely celebrity feuds in the history of celebrity feuds. In 2014, Mark Wahlberg appeared on Conan and revealed that his daughter's obsession with One Direction infuriated him, so much so that he threatened to beat Harry Styles up. It's pretty clear that the actor was never a fan of the singer to begin with and told Conan that his two little girls would rather talk about One Direction than their dad's movies. Quote, "My 4-year-old's going, 'Daddy, I like Harry,' and I'm like, well, I'm gonna punch Harry in the nose when I see him. She pulls out pictures of him and she's hiding pictures in the room, and I pretend I'm ripping them up and I get jealous. But if I see that little prick, he's gonna get it." Insinuating that if Harry didn't watch out, he was going to risk getting a black eye or two. Mark also discussed a plan to have One Direction do a song for one of his movies, only to lure them in so that he could basically beat the crap out of them. Quote, "I could say, 'Hey, I really want to meet One Direction, I'm a big fan, maybe you can do the title track for the song,' and then I would beat the crap out of them in a video." Of course, it seemed like he was just messing around or being sarcastic, but it was a little odd how long he kept the joke going. Number 6, Liam Payne. Twitter fans ridiculed Liam for airing the dirty laundry of his former 1D bandmates on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast. The 29-year-old reflected on the band's highs and lows, as well as the various feuds within the group and their personal problems in recent years. But fans took particular issue with the fact that he said his 2017 debut solo track stripped that down outside told everyone else in the band. In fact, the whole interview came off as a little bit of a humble brag for Liam, and a lot of people were confused how he seemingly thought that he was the most successful member of the band. Liam also claimed that he was the chosen leader of One Direction, and disputed the notion that Harry was a frontman of the group. He insisted that the band was formed around him as a part of a promise that Simon had made to him 2 years prior. He explained that when he auditioned for X Factor the second time, he was thrown into the group, and Simon promised to make it work for him, and allegedly decided that Liam was to be the band's leader. But fans were very skeptical of the claim, and even Lizzo said, "I don't know who lied to that poor boy, but he was not the frontman." So it looks like the question is still up for debate. Number 5. Noel Gallagher. The English singer and songwriter who is a member of the band Oasis has a long history of questioning other artists' musical abilities. But Noel Gallagher made a whole lot of enemies when he decided to trash Harry Styles. In fact, he hated Harry even when he was in One Direction, and decided to go on record calling the band members something that rhymes with rock suckers, and said that they would all be in rehab by the time they're 30. Not only that, but he told the Daily Star that X Factor as an institution has nothing to do with music whatsoever, and that performers and bands that came from the show don't work as hard as real musicians. Quote, "You're not telling me that Harry Styles is currently sitting in a room somewhere writing a song. With any joy, he'll be surrounded by a lot of girls. I can assure you he's not got an acoustic guitar out trying to write a middle 8 for something." Noel also claimed that his cat could have written Harry's debut single Sign of the Times in about 10 minutes. The singer has also trashed Little Mix and said that they were not in the same league as his own band, but clearly he doesn't take into account the size of a fan base either. Number 4. Billy Porter. Not everyone was happy to see Harry Styles gracing the cover of Vogue in 2020 while wearing a dress. In fact, actor and director Billy Porter felt that Harry was just copying him. In an interview with the Sunday Times, Porter slammed Harry's gender expression as performative. Quote, "He doesn't care, he's just doing it because it's the thing to do. This is politics for me, this is my life. I had to fight my entire life to get to the place where I could wear a dress to the Oscars. All he had to do is be white and straight." Porter went on to say, "I changed the whole game. I personally changed the whole game. And that is not ego, that is just fact. I was the first one doing it and now everybody's doing it. I created the conversation, and yet Vogue still put Harry Styles in a dress on their cover for the first time." It's easy to see where Porter is coming from, considering that yes, he has spent years making waves in the gender fluid fashion world, and famously arrived at the 2019 Oscars in a Christian Siriano blazer dress, which kind of broke the internet at the time. But he also wasn't the first and only celebrity to ever push the envelope of gender binaries, so Harry shouldn't have been the target of his criticism here. Number 3. Taj Jackson. Michael Jackson's nephew was fuming when Rolling Stone UK tweeted out the cover of their November issue, which featured Harry Styles. The singer was pictured rocking a white fur stole and pink sequin shorts while holding a birthday cake with lit candles, and the title reading, "Harry Styles, How the New King of Pop Set the Music World Aflame." It's safe to say that this didn't go over too well with Taj Jackson, who immediately took to the comments to roast the magazine and demand a different title for Harry. He wrote, "There is no new king of pop. You don't own the title, Rolling Stone, and you didn't earn it. My uncle did. Decades of dedication and sacrifice. The title has been retired." The 49-year-old is the eldest child of Michael Jackson's brother Taito, and although he insisted that he wasn't disrespecting Harry, his 180,000 followers seemed to be out for blood and started joining in on the hate train against him. One user wrote, "Harry is like every other pop star, a Michael Jackson wannabe that will never be anywhere near as good or as talented as the real king of pop." Then Taj doubled down on his feelings and wrote, "There is only one king of pop, and no offense intended to Harry Styles, but he's not in the same league or universe as Michael Jackson." Wow. Number 2. Lucius. The American indie pop band did not hold back at all when they accused Harry Styles of not properly crediting them after they collaborated with the pop star on his 2019 song Treat People with Kindness. In an interview with the LA Times, the two lead vocalists, Jess Wolfe and Holly Lasig, said that Harry asked for their vocals on the song because they were already working on another song together at the time. Quote, "We were like, yeah, of course, it's just oohs and ahs, it's not a big deal, and it's a good opportunity for us, but we started singing and we were singing the whole chorus. 2 weeks later, they sent us the track and it was literally us. We started the song, we sing every chorus, just us. We trade off in the bridge, it's us and Harry Styles. The women maintain that Harry didn't even link their band when he put the song on Spotify, which they claimed robbed them of critical exposure that they needed as a relatively unknown band. Quote, "It just hurt. There was an opportunity to spread the love a little bit, which he purports to do all the time, and it could have really helped us." While the situation does sound disheartening, it might not have been something that Harry did knowingly or maliciously. And coming in at number 1, Candace Owens. A lot of people had a lot to say in 2020 when Harry Styles made history as the first male to have a solo cover of Vogue, and just happened to be wearing a dress. To no one's surprise, the controversial conservative commentator did not approve of his clothing choice at all, and so she decided to attack him on Twitter, saying, "There is no society that can survive without strong men. The East knows this. In the West, the steady feminization of our men at the same time that Marxism is being taught to our children is not a coincidence. It is an outright attack. Bring back manly men." She caught a lot of backlash for her comments, and people were quick to call her out for being photographed wearing a suit, and flooded her comment section with phrases like, "Bring back feminine women." In response to this, Olivia Wilde called Candace pathetic for basically attacking Harry's gender expression, and conflating wearing a dress with being feminine. Then in response to that tweet, Candace hit back at Olivia, tweeting, "You're single for a reason," referencing her split from longtime partner Jason Sudeikis, which was announced just days earlier. But regardless of how many people stood up for Harry, it's pretty clear that he just doesn't like labels, especially when it comes to gendered fashion. Number 10, Miley Cyrus. In 2013, Miley Cyrus allegedly got very jealous when Jennifer Lawrence went after her ex Liam Hemsworth. The jealousy was likely sparked by headlines claiming that the Hunger Games co-stars were dating, and Jennifer didn't really bother doing anything to shut down those rumors when she appeared on Watch What Happens Live in December of 2015, and admitted to making out with Liam off-set. When Andy Cohen asked, "Have you two ever kissed when the cameras weren't rolling?" she replied, "Liam and I grew up together. Liam's real hot. What would you have done?" "Yeah, I have." Not only that, but in 2014, when Jennifer visited Late Night with Seth Meyers, she recounted a time that she threw up in front of Miley at the Oscars after party. She said, "I was in such a bad condition, and I look behind me, and while I'm puking, and Miley Cyrus is there like, get it together," essentially saying that Miley shot her a disapproving look and shamed her for puking. But when the former Disney Channel star got wind of the story, she called BS and responded with a tweet saying, "That never happened." If you're loving this video so far, please hit that like button, it would really help us out. Number 9, Chloe Sevigny. The fashion icon and indie film darling voiced her annoyance about how actors these days have to now have marketable personalities. She went on to comment on how irritating it is to see the likes of Emma Stone or Jennifer Lawrence play to the audience on late night talk shows. She said they'll have a really peppy, funny girl on the talk show rounds, and everybody adores her and loves her, wants to be her or wants to F her, and then so many people want to watch the movie or TV show. I understand that star quality, how much value that carries. Chloe ends her borderline rant with criticism of the young Oscar winner, saying, "Jennifer Lawrence I find annoying, too crass." But that wasn't the first time that the Hunger Games star has been called out for her lack of authenticity, with many film lovers criticizing her overly enthusiastic nature on various talk shows. In fact, these days a lot of people think she just tries too hard to come across as relatable, and it often feels too forced. Number 8, Lindsay Lohan. While talking to Stephen Colbert on The Late Show in 2015, Jennifer said, "I'm a big time puker. I don't stop working because I'm a show pony. And so I just keep going until eventually my body is like, if we don't make her barf or pass out, she won't stop. I get Lindsay Lohan grade exhaustion, but without any narcotics or alcohol." Of course, those comments were in pretty bad taste considering Lindsay's long-term battle with addiction. So her younger sister Aliana jumped to her defense and tweeted, "Disappointed in Jennifer Lawrence, not cool." To which Lindsay wrote, "Thank you, sister. Maybe who you're referring to should learn to support others like Maya Angelou." Her mother Dina was also upset at the comment and told Entertainment Tonight, "We have always been fans of hers, so it was unfortunate that she used Lindsay as a reference of not showing up to set, and that was the whole bit. It was disappointing that she didn't have her peers back. You shouldn't trash anyone. It was just surprising. My family sticks together." Number 7, Jared Leto. When J-Lo took took to the stage at the 2014 Oscars. To present the award for Best Actor, she called out someone who was laughing in the audience and said, What is funny?" Only later did we find out that that person was Jared Leto. He told Access Hollywood about the awkward moment, saying, "What she didn't know was that Ellen was on the side making pantomiming 'Don't fall,' and my mother and my brother are all cracking up. I guess we don't have any manners. You can take them out of Louisiana, but you can't take Louisiana out of them, right?" Obviously Jared didn't take the incident very seriously. He just wanted to clear up the fact that he wasn't laughing about her. But when he was asked about Jennifer's second red carpet fall earlier in the evening, he said, "I'm starting to wonder if this is all a bit of an act." So clearly he thinks that she was more or less acting clumsy on purpose. Number 6, Erica Lane. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star had some pretty harsh words for Jennifer Lawrence after she trash-talked her at the Toronto Film Festival. J-Lo was talking about the Real Housewives and said, "My biggest problem with this season is that it's been boring, and I think that Erica is evil. I would go as far as to say that she needs a publicist ASAP," seemingly referencing the fact that Erica has been at the center of several lawsuits involving her estranged husband and disgraced attorney Tom Girardi. When Erica went on to Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, he asked her what her reaction was to Jennifer's comments, to which she responded, "Well, it's easy to label people when they are at their absolute lowest going through something in real life on television. But anytime that she would like to come down and mix it up with us, I'm sure that we could unmask the ugly parts of her personality as well." Which was not only a great comeback, but it's also true. Number 5, Lala Kent. In 2018, when Jennifer Lawrence went on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, she jokingly called Lala Kent the C word. The star of Vanderkamp Rules didn't take that too kindly and tweeted, "Did Jennifer Lawrence really call me the C word on Bravo? And talk about my mama? B, you better pray I don't see you in the streets. You're one of the highest paid actresses on the planet. You claim you are pro-women and you call another woman a C word? You are gross." Clearly Lala did not take any time to cool off, because less than a month later, she slammed Jennifer Lawrence again and said that the actress had 2 failed films in a row. She called her the type of chick who would give Harvey Weinstein sexual favors for roles. Lala also said, "I think we've come to the conclusion that she sucks. Now anytime you bring her up, I'm like, I don't have anything nice to say about her. I'm gonna say that her hair sucks, her face is a little too pudgy, like she needs to stop the drinking, Number 4, Jennifer Lopez. During a visit to The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon in 2014, Jennifer recounted an awkward incident that took place at the Met Ball with J-Lo. She claimed that she approached J-Lo asking to dance and got rejected when J-Lo said, "No, I'm just going to observe." A couple of days later, the singer shared her side of the story and told Access Hollywood, "I remember that we were at the Met Ball and Kanye was about to perform and it was a crazy moment. And then they came over, Jimmy Fallon, he started talking, and then Jennifer came over too. And then she was like, 'Let's go dance.' And I was like, 'No, I'm good right here.' But I didn't mean it like, 'No, I don't want to dance with you.' I just meant like, 'It's so crowded in here, let's stay right here.'" Although she clarified that she would have loved to dance with her, it seemed like it was more of a communication issue that left J-Lo feeling a little embarrassed. Number 3, Spencer Pratt. The Hills star has probably the strangest beef with Jennifer Lawrence ever. It all started in 2017 when she told Vogue about her troubles moving into her new home. She said, "The house had crystals everywhere and I was like, please get rid of these. I don't want people to come over here and think I'm a crystal person. But everyone told me, you can't do that, you can't move them. You have to have the crystal lady who put them in to move them. I just had all of the crystals yanked out, sold them, and then my effing house flooded. I hate crystals." Soon after the story ran, Spencer Pratt claimed that he felt personally attacked by her remarks. He said, "She was talking about me in Vogue like 100%. I'm the crazy crystal person she's clowning. So I'll see her, we'll bump into each other at the Beverly Hills Hotel like I see all the A-listers and they run from me." He also blamed the actress for his skin rashes and claimed that she was doing spells on him. So it's pretty clear that no one should come between Spencer and his crystals. Number 2, David O. Russell. TMZ reported that Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle collaborators Jennifer Lawrence and David O. Russell got into a loud argument on the Boston set of their film Joy. Eyewitnesses described a screaming match between them that was ear-piercing and laced with profanities. Later, a representative for the studio confirmed the yelling, but claimed that the director was just helping Jennifer to get amped up for a scene in which she screams at someone else. A day after the report, the actress stepped forward to clear up the rumor and posted a message on Facebook saying, "It's Jen. I know I don't go on here a lot because I can barely work email, but there's been a terrible rumor going around in the last 24 hours, so I wanted to clear it up. David O. Russell is one of my closest friends and we have an amazing collaborative working relationship. I adore this man and he does not deserve this tabloid malarkey. This move movie is going great and I'm having a blast making it. So it's likely that all the yelling was necessary for a good performance. And coming in at number 1, Joan Rivers. While promoting one of her new films in 2013, J-Lo decided to rant about the pressure that young girls face in the media. She said, "Shows like The Fashion Police are just showing these generations of young people to judge people based on all the things that are wrong." But Joan Rivers was not too happy with Jennifer attacking her show, so she tweeted, "It's funny how Jennifer Lawrence loved the show during awards season when we were complimenting her every single week. Wait, it just dawned on me why Jennifer Lawrence fell on her way up to the stage to get her Oscar. She tripped over her own arrogance." Then she told Page Six, "My New Year's resolution is ensuring Jennifer Lawrence grows up and realizes how lucky she is and calms down. I love that she's telling everyone how wrong it is to worry about retouching and body image, and meanwhile she has been touched up more than a choir boy at the Vatican. Look at her posters. She doesn't have a nose, she has 2 holes. She just has to learn, don't talk if you're doing it."